r/AskReddit, what is denied by everyone but is actually 100% real. Rampant physical and medical abuse in mental health facilities and care facilities for the elderly. At least in the US. Even the places that are charging like $10K or more a month are often paying their staff shit wages, which contributes to neglect and abuse. Staffing issues also mean the hiring standards are abysmally low. As a nurse's aide, that's so true. Even in retirement homes it's crazy with the abuse. I've been to a psych ward and it made me even worse. Most evil powerful people are actively supported and encouraged by everyday good people. Good people might run for office once, but again after they see how it really works. Nah. Money doesn't buy happiness. Watch me leave IKEA full of joy with a 100 centimeters plush shark. Sorry, but I rather cry in a brand new Audi with a 100 centimeters plush shark next to me than cry on a bicycle held together by thoughts and prayers. We are not the main character. Everyone has similar shit going on. Everyone has their own challenges and don't even know you exist. The world doesn't revolve around you. You're a tiny blip in existence. It honestly makes my life a lot easier knowing that. I care a lot less about being embarrassed now. Aging, it's not a disease, it's not faulty, and despite, lucky or unlucky, attempts to evade, it's still going to happen. If it is happening to someone else, it can happen to you. No, it won't, cause I have that new night serum that will slightly delay the decay of my exterior layer. You don't have to be a bad person to end up in prison. And, not all prisoners are guilty. Everything fades. Not this drip. This drip will never fade. They actually do put stuff in the water that makes the frogs gay. Okay, technically it's not making them gay, it's making them hermaphrodites. It's a pesticide called atrazine. Oh, it's like Jurassic Park. You are never as smart as you think you are. What if I think I'm as smart as I think I am? Just how real family dysfunction is in many cases. So many people just turn a blind eye to it. A Calvin and Hobbes comic always stood out to me as a kid. Their house gets robbed while they're on vacation and the dad talks about how you always think about this kind of thing happening to someone else. The mom says to everyone else, you are someone else. This sub is just an endless repeat of the same questions. Nobody denies this. That's true of all subs. Cynicism feels way smarter than it actually is. Yet, blindly hating everything makes you just as discerning as someone who blindly likes everything. Marijuana addiction is a thing. Dated a person who was insufferable if we drove for 2 hours and he couldn't get a drag. Also, he didn't want to travel to places where he couldn't get it. I'd call that an addiction, I think. Yeah. My vice is a glass of wine with a nice meal, but if it's not there, it doesn't make me irritable. Almost anything can be an addiction to the right person. That they pick their nose and pee in the shower. The shower is the absolute best place for nose picking. Parents having a favorite child. Death's a comin'. Slow and steady or quick and sudden, but one way or another, it lands at our doorstep. Most of us live as if we're above it or it won't happen to us. The negative effects of alcohol not on the individual but on the societal level. Just look up fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, link, think of traits you don't like in people and go compare. I'm of the opinion that folks can drink if they want to drink, but the lengths people will go to justify this habit are absolutely concerning. How often do you hear the well in moderation it's actually good for your heart myth repeated as though it hadn't been thoroughly debunked? Great answer. Alcohol is basically a socially acceptable drug addiction. Caffeine addiction is the largest drug addiction in the world. I'm convinced a significant percentage of parents regret having kids at all. And they might not even admit it to their partners. I have a friend like that. She loves her kid but she hates not being able to do literally anything besides work/kid for 10 years straight. That their job is secure and they'll never be let go. I made it through multiple layoffs including during the pandemic only to be laid off last week. Thankfully I had already updated my resume and had started looking, but no job is ever 100% secure no matter what. Everyone is susceptible to depression. It doesn't matter how happy you are, or how insensitive/dismissive you are of people who have/had it. It could get you too. The majority of poor people are poor due to things that aren't their fault. I have 3 kids and they take turns being the favorite depending on the situation. People tend to treat you based on fuckability/attractiveness. They like to say they don't but it's simply not true. Old woman here, can concur. It's very weird on the day after your last fuckable day. You suddenly realize you were absolutely nothing special, just young. Other people can have an experience that you don't understand. You having felt sad once doesn't mean you understand what it's like to be depressed. Your occasional knee pain doesn't mean you understand my rheumatoid arthritis. You having had COVID-19 doesn't mean you know what I experienced when I had COVID-19. Have enough humility to recognize the limits of your own experience. Having a favorite child. Parents will never say they have a favorite. We love all three of you equally, but we all know they have a favorite. I have never told my children I love them all equally. Whichever one asks is my favorite. D. Not everyone denies this, but we don't know the long-term effects of multiple COVID infections, so it shouldn't be written off as mild. Even the effects we do know of, i.e. long COVID, are actually horrible. There's a young woman in my country who is bedbound and can barely move since her infection. I've met others who went from perfectly healthy to now getting tired out by a long walk, can't work full-time, and have migraines most days. It's horrifying. Your mental and/or physical health could shit the bed at random. You could do everything right, and it may not matter. Things like cancer don't discriminate. Not saying you shouldn't take care of yourself, just that sometimes it isn't fair. You can get sucked into a cult. We are all subject to propaganda. Under the water, the fish don't stink. Double standards in almost everything. Getting angry with other drivers when roads are crowded and you complain about all the traffic. You are the traffic. 93% of children who were molested by someone they personally know and trust, not stranger danger. Pretty privilege. Though frowned upon, it's okay to call your toddler an asshole. I once yelled at my 4-year-old cousin, "What the fuck do you think you're doing, you fucking dildo?" Because he was about to put a screwdriver in the socket and my teenage self freaked out. A couple weeks later he got in trouble at school for yelling at another kid, "Fuck doing, you fuck dildo." He got the spirit of the message. No regrets. Would do it again. Most people live in a made-up fantasy world where they are the main character. Yes. My friend posted a picture of her toddler sleeping and everyone thought it was precious and adorable. I do the exact same thing and I'm creepy and trespassing. I didn't even go into his room. I took the picture from outside his window. The worst thing you can imagine happening to you can happen to you. One deer is in the way and now I've lost the person I love the most. It can happen. No matter how bad. It can happen to you. Happened to me recently too. Sorry for your loss.